Hey, so we'll start like this. The dream started that I may have been woken up or something, but the dream just started like this. Someone asked me to go follow them, and like the vision in the dream was that I got up. I was sitting down or maybe laying down or something. But I got up, started walking, following this person, and as I'm following this person, there's a multi-layer structure that's being built. When I'm following this person, they asked me to come check out something. And walking, and we're getting closer to the structure. And then there's an object that we walk over, and I hover over it, or like kind of like jumped over it, but like jumped over it and glided almost. Um, that was pretty cool. But go over the structure or this object that we had to get across. Person kind of stepped and like climbed over, and I kind of like jumped and like I kind of like jumped and like hovered over it. Like it wasn't a quick jump. It was just like a jump, boom. Um, and I'm following them, and as I'm following them, it's a huge structure, or it's a multi-layered structure that's being built. And following them, asked me something, and he was checking that out. And then, and excuse me, I may just kind of give you bits and pieces. Um, so profound. I'll just start giving you what I've seen. Um, all right, so that happened, and then who was pulling up? Not me, but I was watching the other. Being careful with my terms here. The other people there was pulling the structure up, and I looked at it and it was like cool. And then I walked to another area where this one person was pulling this structure. It was like, yo, how does this look? Like, wow, that's cool. Like when he pulled it up, it became like this rope bridge, and it was like for children or something. Now the first structure I was looking at was, or first structure I was looking at was for the children, and like the second structure I was looking at was for the adults that this gentleman pulled up. And after he pulled that up, we was walking through a tunnel, something like a tunnel, or like a, okay, you put like an archaeologist type site, like they were still kind of like digging in through it, and then there was still some other stuff buried in there. And I say that it was like a kind of a site because like as I walked away, as me and the other people started walking away from the structure, there was another part that was still being excavated, and there were snakes over there. And one of the snakes kind of was starting to talk, and it was like a green snake, and then it was like gray snakes. But I'm gonna pause that scene and come back to that. Well, the biggest thing that pointed out on that scene was that the snakes was coming towards where we was at, and then it said the gray snakes was telling the green snake, no, not right now, not right now, we gotta wait. So then that scene pauses, right, so then what else happened? And I'm gonna start recording these right after these dreams. I mean, all day today I was sitting back thinking about it and revisioning it. Now that I'm recording it, I'm gonna give you as much as possible, and I will remember majority of it. So then, another scene that happened was, man, a lot. But let me give you another scene. This other scene, I don't know how to explain. Well, I could explain it. Okay, well, I'll explain it like this. There was a multi-person, like people were connected to another person that was connected to another person. Like, I guess they was like holding on to each other's feet, but it was like this. Once I got to the top of that structure, there was a woman there, and like they was about to make her, or she was about to make this scream, and everybody was like holding her, and then like right after she was gonna make this scream or this yell or something, there was somebody like, let me see if y'all can see. Okay, so like she's like right here, and then like there's people down here, and they're holding a structure like this statue or something, right? So when she's okay, so here's her, right? Here's her, and then there's somebody holding her, and then there's somebody holding him, and then there's somebody holding this person. Or it all could have been like they was all in like this tunnel type deal where it wasn't just them it was them inside of a structure. So inside the structure, you had this lady here, and you got a person here holding this lady, and a person holding this person that was holding the lady, and so forth. So here she is, and then I look, and there's people, and make sure I'm giving you a great description. There was, let me stand up too. All right, so she's here, and the statue is right here. There's a groups of people holding this statue, right? So as soon as she makes this noise, oh, my phone said low battery. All right, I'm gonna get ready to charge it. I just want to put as much on this video as possible, but excuse me. All right, so there's other people holding this statue, right? So as soon as she opens up, like they put this statue, like as soon as it's a yell, like a scream, like as soon as she like opened up her mouth, they put this statue in her. And she was, and like she opened like so wide that the statue went like all the way in like that. Like her mouth was open so huge, and like almost all of that statue was in there. And then like after they stopped, I saw her pull that out. That was one scene. And then we get to another scene where it was this truck. It's like a little pickup truck. And this pickup truck, I'm at this pickup truck, and this lady comes to me and is like, open up the door, and like the windows was down. So I started rolling up the window, and she was like, leave the middle one open. We gotta have the middle window open. So you know you got the front, the door, front window, and then like you got that side, or that rear view mirror. Just think of a two-door cab like truck. You know, you got your front window where you got the little roll, and then you got where you can pop open. But this one like actually rolled down, but it was a smaller window, smaller rectangle window. And she opened up the door, she hops in the back, and there's more people getting in, and she said, make sure you leave you can roll up that front window, but leave that small rectangular window down. I was like, okay. So then other people started coming in this truck, and as I was loading up in the truck, I was called to come around on the other side of the truck. I'll go around the truck, and there's like a building there where, well, it was just an open room. It was an open room, and there was a chain there that was chained to the truck. And then there's people in there that's getting chained up to the wall, on the same wall that's got the chain for the truck. And somehow, I know, make sure I don't say too much, give too much details, but, or, anyway, it was to the point where when I was standing there, I kind of knew that I was in a rush, is what I'm getting at. So I was moving kind of swiftly, and these people were piling in there swiftly, piling in the room and piling in the vehicle. But when I got, okay, so then they called me over there to hook the chain up that was hooked to the vehicle, to hook the chain up to this wall. And then there's other people that's chaining themselves to this wall. And then as I'm leaving from that little building there to come back around by the truck, I come over there around by the truck, and then like as they're piling in there, like the last little people that was getting in there, I'm closing the door, and like I had on this suit jacket, and like as soon as I turned around, like my jacket like was pulled. My jacket was pulled. And like I hurried up and got out of the jacket, and like it was like a vortex or whatever. Like something was pulling me. But like I just remember like as soon as I closed the door, it was like my jacket kind of got caught, and I kind of like got out of the jacket, and then you can see it pull the rest of my jacket up. Like it was a different jacket, like a room jacket. So I kind of had already knew that it was coming. So like, how the scene went was, like, as soon as I closed the door, it pulled that off, and then I kind of moved to let it take the rest of the jacket, right? All right, so then, that was interesting. And so then, what was another scene? So that was pretty profound. And then, let me see. I'm gonna pause real quick. Or, I just didn't want to use too much time to think about what the sequence of how this dream went. But then those snake people turned into people. That's what I'm saying. Snake people. They turned into people, and then just know that they turned into people, and they tried to come towards us, but I think that was later on down in the dream. But there was a scene where you saw them turn into people. And then, what else stood out? I'm gonna just start recording these right after my dream. Like all day I just sat and thought about this dream. deciding what to write down. But this is what I'll start doing. Just start recording it right after. But that happened, and then this is fairly new, recording my dream to share with others. What else happened? There was a lot of people there. It was a multi-structured, multi-layered structure that was being built. Oh, and then, okay, so then, yeah, like after that scene where that truck, I didn't look back at the truck. So like after that scene with the truck, where my jacket got sucked in there, to my understanding, it was like a vortex or something like that, or like a portal or something, that they had to be there at a certain time. Because like it just switched like from that scene to where I was walking, after the jacket was taken, I'm walking, and then like here's a horse and buggy, but it wasn't a horse and buggy. It was like, how I describe it, man. It was a wagon that had a face on the front of it. Alright, it was a wagon that didn't have the horses pulling it. It had a face in front of it. And it was something like a pumpkin carriage, you know what I'm saying? I didn't really see who was in there. But the face that was on the front of this carriage that was moving as I'm walking, it's rolling behind me. It was talking. And as it was talking, like, it's like as I was walking, that was behind me. And then like, as a distance came between me and that wagon, and I kind of like turned around, there was a lady coming up from some other little area. She was coming up, she had papers and stuff, and she showed it to me as let me see, the wagon's there. Yeah, she's coming up. So she's like right here in front of me. And she's like showing me this paper. She's like showing numbers. And she was like, yeah, those numbers right there. Oh, yeah, excuse me. She's like, that's a lot of numbers. And that's good for you. That's good. And she was like, what'd she say? She said, those are good numbers. We know, we don't really have to count that, but that's a lot. You're rich. Then everybody started saying, we're rich. And then I had on some type of handcuff, just one handcuff. And she unlocked it and was like, you're good, you're rich. And then like you hear everybody saying, you're rich. We're rich. Not you're rich, we're rich. And as soon as she took that off, I felt so good that I just took flight. Like I personally wanted to fly. Like, and I just flew up and laid on the cloud for a little bit. Now, that was towards the end of the dream. Now, that scene with the snake people, man, they turned into a snake and they was trying to come in after us. Like when we was inside this monument or inside the structure that was being built, they was coming in there disguised as workers or like regular people. And I have to really think about how that scene went. But I remember long story short, or just to give a basic summarizing of this story is, or this vision, these visions. they was taking out. What's happening? Really stood out. And then I had a scene where I was standing inside this gym. It was a small little gym with cinder blocks around us. It was a basketball goal, two other people, and one other person that I know in real life. I won't put his name, but it's a person I know in real life that was there, and I know this person, and they're a basketball player. Mr. Well, rest in peace to a brother named Cartoon who gave this gentleman the name Burn Dookie. He was so fast with his dribbling skills that he could burn Dookie. So that's what we called him. Or that was one of his nicknames. We didn't really call him that, but that was one of his known nicknames. So I'll give that name. So Mr. Burn Dookie was there. And he's dribbling the ball, and there's two other gentlemen right beside him. But then there's a hole in the cinder block as I'm sitting here watching the scene, and like the scene felt so real, like I'm there. But then that opening that's in that cinder block, it was like a little window or something. Somebody was standing there and they started sprinkling water at me. They sprinkled water. Like they started sprinkling water at me and was like, "You're getting sucked in too far." That's what they said. As they were sprinkling, it was like, "You're getting sucked in too far." Because like right before they did that, as I'm watching this scene, like I did kind of feel myself like getting, like it felt real, like it was already feeling real. But like as the person, when they started sprinkling, as they were saying that, or like right before they were saying that, I started thinking, like as I'm standing there watching this scene, like this is real. Like I started getting to looking around, and like I was like really feeling there. And then like they started, that person started sprinkling water at me, like you're getting too far in, or you're getting sucked in too far, or something like that. You're getting in too far. It was like getting in too far. And that's when I went to a different scene. And then, what happened after that? Yeah, I should have kind of recorded this earlier, and I thought I would still remember all of it. I do remember it, like I'm seeing the visions, but to explain it, and this is a test run. It's my first time doing this, so it's a learning situation. But I want to say that I was visited by extraterrestrials in a dream, or beings that are not normal. Cause like that's how I took it from the scene of the people that was chained to the wall and inside that vehicle. I didn't think about it after the dream, but that, and then the snake people, what happened with that lady when she opened up her mouth and they put the statue in there, and I guess maybe her voice. We can go deeper in that. I'll just get the basics right now. The different scenes I've seen. This happened the night before last, 1/26/26. Well, today's 1/27/26. So when I woke up this AM, I was really intrigued. I haven't had a dream like that before. I've had dreams where there was structures being built, and I'm walking around watching and going through the different layers. But this one, like the snake people, that lady there, that wagon, people in the on that, yeah, the wagon, the snake people, the people in that vehicle. That scene with the water being splashed on me. So after that scene, that's when the scene of oh, excuse me. I may just have to come back to this video and do it again, but I just wanted to make sure I got most of this down on here. Lesson learned. Not do this. Did this. I believe this is. Maybe this speaks to you now, but I just believe this is maybe one of the things I could start sharing on this channel. I was figuring out what that noise is. There was a vehicle riding by, and I got these headphones on, so. But I'll be back as I buffer up this dream some more.